Hello everyone, it's Kelly here from spiritualawakeningsigns.com, and today I'm doing a video on light worker imposter syndrome. Now it sounds kind of complicated, but I am sure that when I explain what happened to me and some kind of themes about this that tend to show up, I think that you'll recognise things within yourself, because it happens to all of us on the awakening pathway at some point. It's kind of like a milestone that we need to get past. It's a block that we need to move through to be able to move into that light worker energy and really step into our power as a light worker. So it's a really powerful thing for us to discuss today, and I've got a little bit of a story to tell you all about that. So back in March last year, I absolutely panicked. I panicked. So March last year hit, and lockdown had just begun here in Scotland, and the outbreak was kind of really gaining traction. It was really becoming a big thing, and everybody was scared and uncertain, including me. So just like everyone else, I was panicking too. And you would probably think that someone with a spiritual website or someone who runs something that's to do with spiritual awakening wouldn't freak out and panic, but that's not quite the case. Even when you're in frequent communication with your spirit guides, you can still experience challenges, and people would think that it would be an effortless thing and that I would know exactly what to do, but I didn't. And I was worried for my health, I was worried for my family, my friends' health, I was worried for humanity, I was worried for Spiritual Awakening Signs, my business, and if it could even continue throughout all these incredible changes that were happening. It was really quite a panicked time. And then I started to panic a little bit more because I actually didn't know what to do. So the thoughts that rose up for me was, okay, I'm not an epidemiologist. I don't really know what to do with this particular earthly challenge. I'm good at the spiritual stuff, but the earthly stuff isn't always that easy. I thought, gosh, how can I possibly lead or guide other people at this really scary time? How can I possibly do that? And what could I say to comfort our light worker community? Because there really was nothing that I could say. That was the scary thing. And immediately I started to feel really under-equipped for the life purpose mission I'd gotten myself onto. I'm looking at Spiritual Awakening Signs and all the help and support that we've been putting out there, and I'm just like, oh my god, I think I've maybe taken on more than I can actually handle. I started to feel really under-equipped for this particular mission, and yeah, it happens to light workers who are established and who are already on a life purpose path as well. It happens to all of us, okay? So if this is happening to you, there's a good answer to this story, so stick with me and I'll explain what happened and how it became a good thing. But in that one moment, I had really fallen prey to light worker imposter syndrome. And thankfully, I was able to just peek behind that veil of illusion and spot it for the derailer that it actually is. It's really destructive energy when this comes up, and it's usually old stuff. It's usually old issues that we've got. Okay, so if it's happening to you, don't panic. And I kind of had to take a deep breath, take a little moment, and just realign myself just that little bit. I had to just try and centre myself, and I didn't have the answers. There's no way I could possibly help with a pandemic. Like, I didn't have the answers. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do, and I kind of realised that I didn't have to know all the answers. I didn't need to do or say anything. I just really had to be there. I just had to show up. That was the most important thing. That's what felt to me was the most important thing as a light worker. It's like, there might be nothing you can do, but if you just show up, if you just bring your energy, if you just hold that space for people, that's the best thing that I could do right now. So I made a commitment to myself then and there that was what I was going to do, was show up, even in the rough days. And you'll be able to look back at some of the videos from that time, and you'll be able to tell by looking at me, I was just as exhausted and stressed out as everyone else. You know, it was a really challenging time. But I decided to show up, even on the difficult days, even on the days where I felt like, oh gosh, I don't know how to try and get myself into that good space. I decided to show up. I knew there was nothing else I could do but show up. So I did. I showed up. And as I showed up, you guys showed up too. You showed up to all the live videos. You showed up to the replays. You watched the replays. You commented. You asked your questions. You told us your worries. And when that actually happened, it shifted everything shifted and an energy really shifted in a big way. It shifted from being lots of us as isolated light workers to be in this kind of united force. It brought our energies together. It made a big shift. It brought our energies together, and it kind of united this light worker community in a way that created a strength and a shield for all of us that we could kind of use for this energetic resilience and lean on. That was the most important thing. It gave us some sort of spiritual hub that we could lean on. And of course that happens to emanate to those around you. So even when you feel like you don't know what to do, even when you feel like you've got nothing to offer, it finds a way. Somehow it finds a way. And then, as they often do, things completely shifted. Right? It was the most incredible shift ever. Things moved really fast, and more people were flocking to spiritual awakening signs than we'd ever seen before. Like, that, it was insane. I didn't know what had happened. And I was being given more messages and more guidance, more input from my spirit guides that I was able to share in the videos with you guys, which I know really was helpful for you. And the energy healings that we were doing were unbelievably powerful. They were just working so well and going so great. And everyone was telling us how much they were helping, which was really good as well. And it was really a delight to be able to help people at that really difficult time. It's still a difficult time, but that was really the worst. It was the shock of the change. So what really happened was that human frailty and a moment of self-doubt that kind of derailed me for a moment actually became the pathway to seriously stepping into my light worker purpose. The doubt and the self-doubt and the questions and the panic, all the negativity that we would usually push away, when I actually acknowledged it and decided to move past it anyway, it shifted something. And it was like being called to step up that little bit more towards your light worker purpose, and realising that you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to be a guru. You don't really need to... You don't even need to have it together all the time. You don't need to reject all your human emotions. That's really important. Don't do that. It's okay to feel negative emotions, a natural part of who you are, and it's part of being human as well. You don't need to have all the answers in order to help. You just need to show up. You don't even need to be sure that you're a light worker. That's a really important one. You just need to show up. So it's about being there and being true to who you are, no matter what. And what you'll find is that the universe and your guides will find a way to take care of the rest, to make sure that that energy moves through you, to share that energy with the world, to emanate that light worker energy in a way that benefits others. And I got so many messages and comments from people saying how helpful it was, the things that I was able to share, and a lot of it was just from being there. You know, a lot of it was just that light worker energy was moving through and out, and it will have been happening to you too, I'm sure, at that time, but it could have happened at other times in your life as well. So I just want you to know that even in your moments where you feel like you've just not got it together, when you feel like a bit of a mess, you can still actually share that light worker energy, because you're destined for it. You are destined to share that energy. It's going to find a way anyway. Even if you can't handle it, even if you feel like, oh God, like this is a mess, it's going to find a way. And it's a really incredible shift in the way that happens. I think it's really an amazing thing. That energy is going to find its way through you and out into the world anyway. So maybe we should all stop beating ourselves up a little bit. I know that I had that moment, and then it was like, whoa, what am I thinking? Come on, realign. But, you know, please don't doubt yourself if that kind of stuff's coming up, because you are a light worker and you're meant to move into that energy, and you're destined for a big shift. Okay, so it's really important. But it is important to note that, you know, when we wobble like that, and everybody will on the awakening pathway or your life purpose pathway when you're moving towards being a light worker, sometimes we just need some energetic stability. Sometimes we just need some support to steady us for the journey that we're on. Sometimes we just need a little extra boost to our strength reserves. And I want to show you how to do that right now, because there are shifts that are happening right now, and they have been happening for the last year, that you really need to keep up with. You need to know how things are changing energetically so that you can keep up with things, and so that you know what's going on with yourself. Because sometimes there are these shifts that are going on, and you tune into them and you realise, when you find out the spiritual updates of what's going on, it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense why I wasn't doing so good then. That makes sense why I felt really stressed or I felt really anxious and I didn't know why. You need to know about these changes. This is happening globally, and it is a change that we're going to need to learn to align with all the new energies of this change and the shift that it's bringing. So it's really important that you learn how to do that. Now, we've got a free masterclass that will show you everything that you need to know. It's how to activate the light worker within and your spiritual superpowers, because they're in there and all we need to do is activate them. Because like I said, right now there are serious global shifts going on, and there's a lot of energetic shifts as well, and you really need to know about them. Plus, we need to start moving past all those negative feelings. We need to start to move past that low self-worth, the self-doubt, the questioning, all the negativity that rises up when we're just about to step into our purpose. And let me tell you, I've found this every time you get ready to move into that higher level of awakening, loads of mess just rises up to be cleared within your soul, and you're just full of issues, and you're challenged by things that you're like, what is going on? It's just you're moving into the next level. So we need to learn to use that negativity in a positive way, and we need to step into our Lightworkers purpose ASAP. So go and check out the masterclass. It's in the link below, and you'll find absolutely everything that you need to know. It is jam-packed. It's probably one of the best masterclasses that we've done. It'll show you everything that you need to know to get started. It's an on-demand video, so you can watch it straight away. It is really your time to shine. This is the time when light workers need to step into their power. This is the time when light workers like you and me and everybody else, we need to really step up into that energy and start living our purpose and start sharing that wonderful energy that's going to help to uplift and support the planet. It's really, really important. And this masterclass will show you how to do all of that. So check it out, and let me know how you feel about it afterwards. Share it with us in the group, share it with us on the page, tell us what your experience is, and step into that light worker that you're always destined to be, always. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Remember, you can click below to be notified whenever we go live, and if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel and give us a little thumbs up. We really, really appreciate it, and we've got lots more great videos to come. Have a great day. Bye.